Hello, this is Jim Stockstill, bringing you another program from my program entitled The Handwriting on the Wall. I want you to listen to this maybe before you go to bed at night, when you get quiet time, because I'm going to hit you with some heavy stuff. I'm hitting you with the end times. It's my purpose to show you the end times are upon us right now, the very end of the end times. Not to cast panic or anything, just to give you understanding that we need to know the truth. I'm going to start by giving a fast summary of Daniel chapter 9. Now, Daniel is probably one of the most important books of the Bible, and you can't understand Revelation unless you understand Daniel. So, you need to start finding a good teacher like me or someone like Chuck Messler or someone, and start listening to them, on the books of Daniel. They're not all right. No one has the complete truth. I got some stuff that is mind-boggling because that's just what it is. It's what God gave me. Anyhow, Daniel is given this revelation by Gabriel, by an angel. Jesus tells Gabriel, make this man understand this vision, what's going on. Daniel had been fasting and praying and stuff, so he gets the vision of 70 weeks, 70 weeks of years, 490 years is what he gets a vision of, and Gabriel tells him that that's what it's going to take to bring in complete justice, to put an end to sin. Put an end to sin. That's pretty big. So he tells him to put an end to sin. He says, from the time that the decree comes out to go and rebuild Jerusalem until the Messiah is crucified, until the Messiah is killed. He said it'll be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. 7 and 62, that's 69. He said the decree will go out, and then to rebuild Jerusalem, even in troublesome time, and then until the Messiah comes and is crucified. That'll be 69 weeks. That just leaves one more week. Then he says, the people of the prince to come will come. The people of the prince who is to come will come and destroy the temple and destroy Jerusalem. And so in 70 AD, Titus came in. I'm not going into great detail right now. Titus came in and destroyed the temple, turned every rock upside down, like Jesus said. There won't be one stone that's not turned over in Matthew 24. So Titus comes in 70 AD and destroys the temple. And Jesus has already been crucified. So these are the people of the prince to come that destroyed the temple. Well, Rome didn't use Roman soldiers to come from all the way west of Rome. Whenever they conquered somebody, they used the people there. They brought them into their government. They made them soldiers. So these are the people that were living around Jerusalem at that time. Later become the Arabs and the different Palestinians and the people of the Mideast right there. They were the ones that tore down the temple that was under Titus. So now the prince who is to come, he will come, and that means that the prince who is to come is interpreted that one day he's going to be a king. So the prince who is to come will come at a certain time in the future, and he's going to confirm a covenant, not make a covenant. Confirm a covenant for 7 years. 7 years. That'll put us into the last week, or the 70th week of Daniel, the 70th week. So I've said all that. So here's what happens. So this prince who is to come, he comes, and he confirms a covenant with many, and he solves a lot of problems, and he's what the church is calling the Antichrist. So he sets up his rule in Jerusalem, around that area in Jerusalem, and at the same time, the two witnesses come. So we're in the 7 years. The two witnesses come during that time, Enoch and Elijah, because they're the only two that have never died. They come and they preach for 3.5 years. Okay, now here's where I've finally put it together. This prince who is to come becomes the beast, because the beast in the bottomless pit, Apollyon or Apollo, he comes out after the two witnesses that preached for 3.5 years. He comes out and he takes possession of this Antichrist. He takes possession of him. He's the beast. He takes possession of him, and he kills the two witnesses. They lay in the street of Jerusalem for 3.5 days, 1 day for every year of their preaching. Okay, so this takes us up to the middle of the tribulation. Okay, then this guy who is the beast, he sits down in the temple of God, proclaiming that he is above everything that's called God. He is the Antichrist. He is the beast. And this is, when he does that, he sits in the temple of God. This is the abomination of desolation spoken about by Jesus in Matthew 24, verse 15. Jesus said, "When you therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken about by the prophet Daniel, let him who read understand. Then if you're on the roof, don't come back down to get your coat. If you're in out in the field, don't come back in. Flee. Pray that it's not in winter. Pray that you're not pregnant with a child." You know, he said, because there's going to be tribulation that has not been since the beginning of time, or will ever be again. So let me recapitulate that. So this is the Great Tribulation, because the 7 years, now we're in the middle of the week, middle of the 3.5 years. The two witnesses have been killed, and he sets himself in the temple of God, says that he is God. When you see that, Jesus says, flee, get out of there. There's going to be tribulation that has never been or will ever be again. Matthew 24, 15, 16. Okay, so this brings us up to the first thing. Then that sets us into 3 years of tribulation, Great Tribulation. Okay, can I go a little further? All right. So, with that understood, with that summary understood, I'll talk a little bit about Revelation, because now you understand Revelation. Now there's chapter 10 of Revelation, chapter 11 of Revelation, chapter 12 of Revelation, chapter 13 of Revelation are sequential. They're one after the other. And chapter 10 of Revelation, you have the two witnesses. Okay. Chapter 11, you have the 144,000. Okay. Chapter 12, you have the woman clothed with the sun, moon under her feet, and the great red dragon. You have that going on. And chapter 13, you have the beast out of the sea, which is the beast, the real beast, the number one man, and then you have the false prophet, who causes all people, young and old, rich or poor, to buy or can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast. Okay, so you have that. So the two witnesses come, and they are killed in chapter 10 of Revelation. They are murdered. You have the abomination of desolation in the abomination of desolation, where he sits in the temple of God proclaiming that he is God, and then he establishes his kingdom. Then the 144,000 are marked, and then you go to chapter 12. The woman clothed with the sun, moon under the feet, pregnant with a man-child who is to rule the world with a rod of iron. Now, I'm right on this, but I can't get it through to everybody. This is the church. This woman clothed with the sun, moon under her feet, garnished with 12 stars around her head, is the church. And she's pregnant with a man-child who's going to rule with a rod of iron. They're going to smash, have a lot of authority. So you go to Revelation chapter 2, verse 26, and it says, Jesus said, to him who overcomes, I'll grant you the authority to rule the nations with a rod of iron. You'll dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. You know, when the potters get an imperfect piece of pottery, they smash it and start over again. So there's going to be a bunch of these people. This man-child is not Jesus, because it says later that the woman flees into the wilderness, where she is nourished for a time, and dividing the time. That's 3.5 years. That's Daniel. That's a quote directly from Daniel. Or 42 months, which is time, and dividing time. Or what is it? 1,120 days. I may be wrong on that right now. But anyhow, these are numbers that are 3.5 years. So it says that she flees into the wilderness. Satan issues a flood. The earth helps the woman, opens up, swallows the flood, and she's nourished. And then Satan goes after her seed that wasn't taken up. The man-child is what is caught up. He's caught up to God's throne. It's a corporate, millions of Christians who are really serving God will be caught up. Not everybody's going to be caught up, but millions are going to be caught up. The church is still here. I heard the rapture, the pre-tribulation rapture theory, and they're the greatest men, but some of them have the most crazy doctrines. And I'm not going to judge another man's servant. That's Jesus. But some of these great preachers who are evangelists, they try to get in a prophet's role, and that just doesn't work, because they'll tell you that the Great Tribulation is 7 years. They'll tell you that you're going to be raptured, you're going to escape everything. No, Jesus said is a servant above his master. He said, if they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you. You know, we're in for persecution, but we're not in for the wrath of God. And the wrath of God doesn't start until the 7 vials are poured out. The wrath of God doesn't start until the Great Tribulation. During the Great Tribulation, then the wrath of God is poured out, and men break out with swords who have received the mark of the beast, and etc., etc. So, I've talked to you for 13 minutes and 42. I want to make it go to 14 minutes, because that's good. That's a good number for me. That's a good number for you, because 7s are perfect numbers, you know. So the woman clothed with the sun, moon under her feet. Satan is cast down from heaven. With Michael fights in chapter 12 with Satan. He casts him down, and he's on earth, and he's full of fury, because he knows that he's just got a short time. So he goes out, and he gives the beast and the false prophet power. And so you got the three, you got the Trinity, evil Trinity. You got the red dragon, you got the beast, and you got the false prophet on earth just for 3.5 years. Now, the good thing that I'm going to end with, we're not in the Great Tribulation. Yeah, that's a long time. Until you understand the Word of God that says, Paul in chapter 2 of Second Thessalonians, it says, I beseech you, brethren, concerning the day of the Lord, and when we're going to be gathered unto him. Don't let any man deceive you. That day, the day of the Lord, when we're gathered unto him, will not come unless there first be a great falling away, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition, who exalts himself above the throne of God, and as God sits in the temple of God, proclaiming that he is God. Now, we're not going to be caught up until we see this man make this covenant, renew this covenant with Israel, and then we go into the final thing. We're going to be here for a while. We're going to be here for a while, and I think we're going to be here until the man-child is caught up. Hopefully, we'll all escape, and we'll all be with Christ for eternity. But until then, we gotta deal with all this stuff coming down. We gotta stand up strong and firm against. They're killing the prophets. I could name you a couple of prophets that have been killed, poisoned, because they know too much. They say too much, and they got too big a following. Millions. When you get millions of people following you, you're starting to influence people. You're marked. You're marked. So it's I don't have to worry about that. But I've got some good truths, and I've just told you a lot of truth. And so you're to occupy till he comes. The occupying army is the army in charge. All power and authority has been given in your name. No weapon formed against you is going to prosper. Every tongue raised up against you, you're going to cast it down. You're above and not beneath. You're the head and not the tail. You're blessed standing up and going out. You're blessed coming in and sitting down. You're blessed in the field. You're blessed in the workplace. You're the blessed of God. You were created for this time that we're in right now. So until next time, God bless you. Keep looking for the handwriting on the wall. Thank you.